Hi, my name is Kyle Clower, and I'm with Serve Wisconsin. We are the Wisconsin National Community Service Board. We work the AmeriCorps programs throughout Wisconsin and strive to promote national service and volunteerism throughout the state. We are so very pleased this year to be sponsoring the Governor's Service Awards again, and we are interviewing all this year's honorees. And today we're talking with Phillip Allen with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, who's being honored as Veteran Volunteer of the Year. So, Phillip, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you for honoring me with this award.
We're so thankful for the service you've been doing. And then, Phil, can you start off by telling us a little bit about your service at the VFW?
I've been a member of the VFW since 1990, which this is my 30th year in the organization. In 2009 and 10, I was the commander of VFW Post 7308. That year, I was awarded captain of the All-State team for the Department of Wisconsin. 2011-12 and 2012-13, I was the hospital director for the state. So we go to all the VA hospitals in the state of Wisconsin, including North Chicago, Illinois, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Iron Mountain, Michigan, as part of our system. So I done that for those 2 years. The following year, I was commander of District 1, Wisconsin, which is southeastern Wisconsin here. The year after that, I was chief of staff to the commander of the state, John Giese. I was his chief of staff. Then after that, the following year, I ran for state chaplain's job. So I have been state chaplain over the past years and still currently am. And I'm also I started back as director of the hospital program again too. So we're still doing that. This year we decided to do it a little different. We co-chair it. I co-chair it with another VFW member because if something happens to me, we need somebody for a backup. So that's what we decided to do. So that's where I'm at right now. I enjoy the job. It's a pleasure working with our veterans and making sure they're taken care of. When we came back from Vietnam, we were forgotten and wasn't treated very well. That's why when I came back, I got out of the service in 1971. It took me 19 years before I joined the VFW because I didn't feel obligated to do so with the way we were treated. But then I got to meeting other veterans that felt the same way I did. So it helped. It helped us to get some closure, which is very important. So that's where I'm at today.
And then why did you decide to take on a leadership role at the VFW?
You know, I have been kind of on the sideline I'd always been active in my post, but I felt like it was time to reach out because there's more veterans in need other than the ones in my post that I was in. So I felt these positions that I took would bring me to that goal of helping more individuals that need help. I just talked with a person today that needs some help. So it happens to be my neighbor's son. So he was in Afghanistan, so we're going to get him some help. So it continues on, and we don't want the servicemen now being treated the way we were when we came back. We want to make sure that they're welcomed home and they get the treatment that they need.
So that's wonderful. And then, Phil, can you tell us a little more about your service as the VFW State Hospital Director?
Okay, we have a veteran volunteer at each hospital. We give them money from the VFW to buy coupon books for the people that are in there for hospital care so they can go to the canteen and buy items that they need. So by doing that, it shows them we care. And our volunteers there at the hospitals, they're there at least once a week, if not more. And they go around and check on different veterans and make sure they're okay. And so as the director, I go with, normally the state commander goes with me. Sometimes our auxiliary goes too. We go as a group. You know, numbers help when you go and visit the director of a VA facility to explain to them that what we feel our needs should be for our veterans and what kind of help they need. So we do that. And then we all, at the same time, we present a check to the facility to help in a area that they might need some assistance in. So we donate the money to that assistance. So that's the big part of the job. It's a lot of travel, especially when you go to Minneapolis or Iron Mountain, Michigan. It's a little bit of travels, but it's okay, you know.
And I know that part of that role is working with the Veterans Administration Voluntary Services representatives who volunteer roughly 10,000 hours each year.
That's our representatives' hours that they put in to the different hospitals and the volunteer hours that they put in while they were there. So we don't have to ask them to do that. They enjoy doing it, every one of them, and they do a great job. Without them, it would be tough because they really care about what they're doing also. So we just make sure if they have any problems, come and see us, ask us for our assistance, and we're here to help. So that's how that program works.
So you're helping like coordinate them at the different facilities throughout the state and then helping provide them with the needs so they could then take care of the veterans who are in each facility.
Yes, we help as needed.
And then Phillip, can you tell us about the service you've done with the Zablocki VA Medical Center HopTel?
Well, that's a passion of mine. The HopTel at VA facility in Zablocki in Milwaukee, mostly it's veterans coming down from Iron Mountain, Michigan, or from northern Wisconsin, because that's the VA they go to, Iron Mountain. They come down for overnight stays, sometimes they're there more than one night. So when we first went there and found out what was going on, they just had hospital beds for them to sleep in. Well, they weren't being hospitalized. They was there for examinations and things like that. And they had to go to the hospital for that. Well, they weren't being taken care of properly, in my opinion. The meals was a problem. They had a microwave and TV dinners that they wanted. Well, you know, if you're there for maybe you're coming there for chemo treatment, you need more than a TV dinner to eat. So we got together. My son is a district manager for Bridgman Foods. They own Wendy's and Chili's. They just sold Chili's, but they still own Wendy's. So they agreed to provide 2 meals a month. Somebody had to go pick it up, but the veteran was able to order off a menu what he wanted. So if you didn't want a hamburger, you get chili, or, you know, and when we had the Chili's restaurants, they got a different variety of foods. So we got that going. That lasted it's been going on 4 or 5 years now. So then we got them better beds in there, chairs, got them a new kitchen. We got people that volunteer to bring in food to there. And they got a nice kitchen now with a refrigerator. They got a big freezer in there. This was not only me doing what I did. The American Legion stepped up. The DAV stepped up. And there was another I don't know what the other organization was off the top of my head, but all these organizations got together and made life better for those individuals in there. And we bought them some TVs for their rooms. So when they're staying there, it felt more like home. And on some of the meals, myself, my wife, and my son would go over there and be with them while they ate their meal. They'd all sit around a big table and eat whatever meal was provided for them that day. And they really appreciated it. And now other organizations are helping besides. So it's better treatment than they were getting. They were kind of forgotten. They couldn't even go to the commissary and eat. And that was a bad thing. So now they're getting meals from there too. So it was unreal what I seen when I first went there. The lady that worked there that was in charge, she worked the evenings, had a passion for, sometimes she would make chili or homemade soup for them. And she was doing this out of her pocket. You know, she was providing these meals. So through her help, that's how we got this thing rolling. And it's been a big improvement. So yeah, that's about it on that. We've done a lot over there. You'd have to, if you've seen it before and you've seen it now, you see a big difference.
That's wonderful. So thank you for all the work with that. And can you tell us about your role for veterans at the state as the VFW state chaplain?
I get contacted when somebody needs some support, prayer, or whatever it might be. Whenever somebody passes away, I see that we get a card out on behalf of the whole organization to the family. And then during our meetings during the year, I conduct the opening and closing prayers and any other things that needs to be done, you know, during that time that they ask me to do. And then once a year, at our state convention, we have a memorial service. And we recognize all of our VFW members in this state that passed away for the year. So I'm in charge of that program. It lasts about an hour. We pay a tribute to them, and we show that, you know, if their families are there, we show them that we cared about what they did while they were here. Last year we couldn't do it because of the COVID again, because we couldn't have a meeting like that. So it's a real nice service, and it's a ritual that we do, and there's prayers, and we sing songs and things like that. We decorate the grave, you know, a casket. We decorate a casket and just pay tribute to it. It's a tough program to put together sometimes, but when you're done with it, you appreciate it that you was able to do that, you know, for the ones that passed away and for their families.
That's great. And then can you tell us a little bit about some of the local efforts you've been doing? As I know you're part of the Heroes Veterans Cafe down in Kenosha.
We now have 2 Heroes Cafes, both at Festival Foods. We have one on the north side, one on the south side. The one on the south side meets on Fridays. That's been there for a long time. The one on the north side is a newer facility. It meets on Wednesdays. So some of the same veterans go to both. And sometimes, you know, you go to one and you don't see the person at the other one, but each week they go there on a regular basis. So right now we can't do that because of COVID. So it's been kind of tough over the last few months since March. So look forward to this COVID getting over with so we can get back active with that. The one in Summers, Wisconsin, which is our north side store, a member of our post, Stan Jewell, he heads that one up. And one of the funeral homes pay for the rolls and the coffee. They provide that. So they all get free donuts or rolls and whatever's there starts at 8 in the morning, and it's usually over between 10 and 11. And they can sit around, drink coffee, and everybody just sits around and we tell our stories, you know, to one another. It's been great for the community here. Festival Foods really jumped on board with this, and they're doing it in more stores than just ours around the state. So I'm very proud that I go there. I didn't start it, but I go there and we volunteer every once in a while to host it. So that's how that works out. Different groups host it every month. So it's you get to communicate with people and tell them about your organization when you do that. And it brings in more members, which strength in numbers is what we need to make things work the way they should. So that's part of that program. I'm also elder of my church, First Christian Church, and we're in Bristol, but we got a Kenosha address, Bristol, Wisconsin. A few years ago, had a small group of veterans that we met together once a week and talked about anything that was bothering us, or, you know, we was there to support them. So I done that for a couple of years. Right now it's a tough time there too because of COVID, because we just started indoor services yesterday, but we had to break it up into 3 different times. But I enjoy working I'm on the elders board there, so I enjoy working with my fellow church family, helping them too, besides. And we have a lot of veterans in our church that we help also. So.
And then Phillip, looking back at your many years of service at the VFW, could you tell us about some of your favorite memories or some highlights from your volunteer service?
Well, you know, as hospital director, we got to meet a lot of veterans that are in the hospitals, and talking with them and getting their stories and finding out about their care to make sure they're being taken care of. That's been a highlight of mine. We help families here in our area get help that they need through the VA. Sometimes they're homeless, and so we get them back on their feet and get them started, and then they get employment and start back being a part of society that they should be in. And I'm also right now working with the Kenosha County Veteran Service Officer and a group of other veterans. We're on a committee to have a park in southeastern Wisconsin for veterans, and it's going to be called Kenosha County Veterans Park. And there's going to be pavilions in there for each branch of service, that an individual could go, that he could sit there and meditate, or he can sit there and just get some closure on what he's been through, or her, because we have a lot of female veterans now. So I enjoy helping other people. Let's put it that way. And I think it's a very important part of our life.
That's wonderful. And then what are some of the impacts you've seen from your service for veterans here in Wisconsin?
I know a lot of them have got their lives back together, especially a couple of homeless vets. We helped them get back on their feet, and then the VA took over and gave them more assistance. It's just a matter of getting them to the right person to get the needs that they need, and we have the resources to do that. And we open that up to any veteran. If you need help, don't be afraid to see us and talk to us, because we care about you, each and every one, no matter what you've been through, we care. So that, to me, just helping a person get health care that they need, get them back on their feet and getting them back into life, into society in a good way, means a lot to me. That's one of my goals, to get that done.
That's wonderful. And Phil, congratulations again, and thank you so much for your over a decade of service to VFW and the difference you are continuing to make for veterans throughout our state.
Thank you.